Yo, what is up, guys? It is xFayze here. I will be reacting to REN Money Game Part 2. I just did the Part 1 reaction. If you guys want to see any other of my reactions or even REN reactions specifically, check out my channel. I have a whole playlist just on my REN reactions. But let's get into Part 2 here. See if this relates to Part 1 or how he builds on it.
Strange time we're living in, panic and hysteria. Poor man learn, the rich man don't care for your narcissist mindset spread like malaria. Sit back and watch the show. America written split through fickle
That's true. In terms of like world politics, it seems like America's always involved and doing their thing. And we're just all watching the show that's going on in America, especially whenever the elections are happening and you see them going for each other's heads, where Trump is attacking Biden, Biden is attacking Trump, or whatever it is. There's always a show, right, to distract us. Again, this has to do with the last song. Same instrumental, I think, as well.
Yeah. America written split through fickle shit. A government of hypocrites. These counterfeit politicians sit in parliament, not adequate. Come on. Needlessly bleeding resources all dry. Turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. Oh, what a shame it would be, I would die if number 10 Downing Street burned in a fire. Only joking, only messing, don't be stressing. I'm a peaceful adolescent, there's no need to be unpleasant. Right, my thesis.
Ooh, okay, we got some flow here. So obviously he's again referencing where, you know, we live in a democracy, but at the same time, there's so many stories of politicians, you know, taking bribes, or if they get a pay raise in some way, they'll like change whatever their initial idea was. You know, how whatever they had in mind before going into office often changes because of the influence around them. Once they actually get to that position where they can make change, they probably get like bribes, they get so many different things to keep them from initiating any of the changes that they promise, right? And even when they try and make those changes, people in their own camp, people on the right, people on the left, other politicians will stand against them because they're getting paid. And it's like it's a whole ordeal where sorry, I don't want to rant too early. Let's listen to this. What I wanted to point out though is his flow here was sick. It was sick. Needlessly bleeding resources all dry, turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. That was all fine, but listen to what he's saying next.
It's all dry, turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. Oh, what a shame it would be, I would die if number 10 Downing Street burned in a fire. Only joking, only messing, don't be stressing. I'm a peaceful adolescent, there's no need to be unpleasant. Write my thesis in a rhyme scheme to analyze the brain while my fingers on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 a storm it comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we die upon the blame.
Oh, is it the same hook too?
But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game.
I like how he's visually showing all these things too.
Money is a game and the ladder we climb turns a saint into a sinner with his finger in crime. I'll break it down for you motherfuckers line by line. This is business economics in a nursery rhyme. She sells seashells on a seashore, but the value of these shells will fall due to the laws of supply.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's a smart way. Okay, so he mentioned he was gonna teach us all this line by line through a nursery rhyme, and he starts with the seashell. She sells seashells on the seashore.
Sure, but the value of these shells will
fall.
Due to the laws of supply and demand. No one wants to buy shells because there's loads on the sand. Step one.
Exactly. There's too much supply, and so it can never be worth a lot because there's just so much of it.
Wants to buy shells because there's loads on the sand. Step one, you must create a sense of scarcity. Shells will sell much better if the people think they're rare, you see. Bear with me, take as many shells as you can find and hide them on an island. Stockpile them high until they're rarer than a diamond. Step two.
See, now he's talking about the seashells. He's like, So what can we do to make it worth more, even if it's so easy to find? Well, we find all of it, and we keep it to ourselves, and we make it look like there's not many. So that's the same thing with money, right? Money is accumulated by the rich, and the gap between the richest people and middle class keeps extending, right? That's just a fact. You can look it up. The richest, I think it's the top 5% richest people in America own, like, in terms of money, their money is like 80% of what all of America has. It's a crazy fact like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on those numbers, but there's, oh my god, I wish I knew the actual number. But my overarching point here is the rich get richer just because the way that investments work, and the way that once you control something and once you own something, then you're just going to try and own something else and own something else, and it builds upon each other generation after generation. So obviously what is going on is the rich will get richer unless they somehow like fumble. It's really hard to fumble the bag once you have the bag. Okay, and he's saying what they're doing is they're making money seem even more important because they're accumulating. Maybe that's not exactly what he's saying, but that's the way that I'm taking it. He's saying the rich are accumulating so much money, and then just like the shells, you think that there's not enough shells for everyone. So then now you're willing to pay more for those shells. Supply and demand, right? There's this feeling of scarcity. He's saying the same thing is happening with money, where there's so little money distributed among most people that it looks like there's not enough money for everyone. It feels like a competition, like a game, where you have to do some horrible things to get money, when at the end of the day, the top 5% richest people out there, they have enough money to probably feed a whole state, a whole country, you know? So there's no scarcity in money. It's just not evenly distributed. Now we can go into that whole conversation on, if someone worked hard to get to where they are, do they deserve to have all that money? They deserve to get more money, I think, than someone that doesn't do anything for society. But I think there should be a limit. That's personally what I think. You should only get rich to a certain limit, and at that limit, everything extra that you make should be going back into society. So yeah, I do think that people that do amazing stuff and build amazing businesses should have more money than people that aren't doing anything. But yeah, that's I think there should be a limit, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with this. So if you disagree, put that in the comment section below. I'm glad to have that conversation because I can definitely see both sides of the coin. It's hard to really draw a line on how much money is too much money, but I do think that there should be a line.
Step 2, gotta make the people think that they want it, really want them, really fucking want them. Hit them like Bronson, influencers, product placement, featured primetime entertainment. If you haven't got a show, then you're just a fucking waste man. Free, it's monopoly, invest inside some property, start a corporation, make a logo, do it properly. Shells must sell, that will be your new philosophy. Swallow all your morals, they're a poor man's quality. 4, expand, 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 clear forest, make land, fresh blood on hands. 5, why just shells, why limit yourself? She sells seashells, sell oil as well. 6, sell stock, sell diamonds, sell rock, sell water to a fish, sell the time to a clock. 7, press on the gas.
Sell water to a fish, sell time to a clock. The imagery there. He's saying things that are essential and that are natural, let's sell that anyway. He's saying that that's a problem. It's a problem that, we're selling water and stuff like that are necessities, that are it should be a given that every human should have water and food. But we're selling that as well. We're selling medicine. Like, if you can't afford the medicine, you can't afford the care. You're just not going to get the care. You're going to get bare minimum treatment. It's those type of things that are a bit crazy. When you get into selling those things, yeah.
To a clock. 7, press on the gas, take your foot off the brakes, then run to be the president of the United States. 8, big smile, make big wave, that's great. Now the truth is overrated, tell lies out the gate. 9, polarize the people, controversy is the game. It don't matter if they hate you, if they all say your name. 10, The world is yours. Step out on the stage to a round of applause. You're a liar, cheat, a devil, a whore, and you sell seashells on the seashore. Rain, 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 rain. A storm, it comes our way. And no surprise.
I like throughout that verse when he was going 1, 2, 3, 4, and he was doing each one of those lessons, his delivery got faster and faster and louder until he got to 10. And then that was the climax, and then it started tapering down into the hook. So the way that he musically set that up, where like the more points that he's given you, the louder he becomes, the more passionate he seems with how he's delivering it. It just, there's good progression musically too there, where like there's a build up, there's a climax, and then it dies down into the hook again, which is the main overarching point.
To distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we died upon the blame.
Like musically, what he did, he wrote an essay musically, right? So he had his main point, and then he had his paragraph with all the examples and all the details, and then he has his hook again, which is again his main point. So the fact that he like structured that all well together, yes, I like that.
See you to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game.
So something I mentioned in my reaction, I think it was my reaction of his song Penitence. I'm not sure how to say that word. It was his topics seem pretty similar to each other every single time. This money game has been a completely different topic, right? He's not talking about mental health. He's not talking about him personally, stories that he's been through. So this, to me, is him showcasing that he's not a one-trick pony in terms of his subject matter either, which I'm very glad, because the way, especially since he's independent, the way for him to gather an audience is to kind of like have different types of songs and be very diverse, sing, tell stories about yourself, tell stories about the world, have perspective type songs like this one, where you share your ideals with the world, or you bring people to think about things differently, then have really nice fun bops, or have a rap with a ton of different flows. Like he has a lot of different things that he's very good at, honestly, and I think that that's a great strategy for him, considering that he doesn't have a label to push his stuff, so he has to gather like different types of audiences and gather them around him, and be a fan of him, so that he can introduce those people to his new songs and his new ideas and all that stuff. So I like that he's like pulling from so many different places. That versatility is probably one of the reasons why he's blown up so much. It's because we're like, wait a second, like this guy can do this, that, this and that. Like what? And that's what's surprising. And the fact that he's deep with it, right? Like it's not just a surface level idea that he's sharing. Like he's going deep into detail with it. He's always, you can tell that he put thought. Like that's the thing that I enjoy the most, right? About Ren, is the fact that I can tell he put thought into it. He put thought into his flow. He put thought into how he was going to deliver the song. And he was like, hey, look, I'm going to make this more and more intense to really connect with my audience here. So he's thinking about all these little things. Yes, like no wonder he should be blowing up. He should be. So yeah, shout out to Ren. I'm gonna play the rest of this for the runtime. If you guys enjoyed, you can watch my other reactions of Ren. And I'd love to have a discussion about this, right? Because what's the alternative to democracy and capitalism the way that we have it set up? It's hard. I don't think there's like a go-to solution, because if there was one, we probably would have implemented it already. So there's some positives and some negatives to all different types of government, and different types of how you can set up society as a whole. Like this is a huge topic. I'd love to know what you guys think, because I know for a fact we're all gonna have our own different ideas when it comes to this. Anyway, peace.